Now, I'm excited to bring you this next show. To start off with, I want to bring the same guest that I brought in from last week, Jermaine Harris. You know, involved in the home father, a husband, and someone that's really involved also in the music industry. Welcome back to the show.
It's an honor to be back, and I want to commend you on running for city councilman. Man, I was real proud, man.
Appreciate that. You know, one thing I appreciate about that is I was able to run a clean campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Never said a negative word towards my opponent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I was glad to be able to run that kind of a race, and look forward to seeing me again.
Yeah, I do.
I appreciate that. Now, last time we was here, we talked about, you know, the family
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. We never really got a chance to really get into what you're doing
Mm-hmm.
with music.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard some of your albums and things like that. Talk to me a little bit about what it's like being a local artist in an area like this.
Well, as being a local artist, I network with a lot of other local artists that's around our way, around the Calhoun County area.
Can you think of any just offhand?
Oh yeah, a bunch of them. NOC, Showstoppers, Timmy Pluto, Loopy Smith, just a bunch of them that I work with.
Right on. Let me ask you this. Now, your albums, the thing I like about your albums
Mhm.
is it's so much positive aspects to the music that you put out.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel that music influences our youth today? And do you feel like we're missing the mark or right on the mark when it comes to the music industry and how it's affecting our youth?
I feel that the music that has been put out today has a very big impact of the way the youth think today. If people are rapping about big wheels and big this and much dope that ain't so, kids look up to that and they go out and try to do the same thing out in the street, out in the neighborhood. But when you do a positive song, we need to do more positive song, because some of these kids, like we talked about in the last show, come from broken homes, and some of these people that they look up to are people that are like artists or rap artists, whatever. And they try to live the life that they live, but not knowing that they only doing this just to sell records.
Right, because I've done a little research. I took some music history in class. You know, the average artist, unless you go platinum,
Mm-hmm.
usually pull only about 60 grand on their album.
Exactly.
After they finish paying off everything.
Mhm.
They get fronted a lot of money, but when it's all said and done, they pull on average around 60 grand for an album.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as much as it's hyped up to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I spent a lot of time around a lot of artists when I did live in California, in the California area.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my thing. What we had growing up is we had influence, we had leaders,
Mm-hmm.
we had that to look forward to in this area. I remember seeing some of the leaders of that time. I mean, I was a teenager and a preteen, and I was following local elections. I
Mhm.
remember Walter Young being our city councilman. I remember James Montgomery being our city councilman. You know, I left shortly after Herbert Palmore became the
Mhm.
councilman. Actually, I left before that, if I'm not mistaken. And but the thing I see and the reason I stayed was there's an absence of that. The same people that were leaders at that time are still leaders,
Mm-hmm.
but that next generation and that new generation of leaders never came out. So there's a generational gap, and with the amount of broken homes we have in society and things like that, do you feel like this lack of leadership causes people to gravitate towards the music industry more than, say, when we were growing up?
It really does, because when we was growing up, you know, we had like, in a sense, my father, your father, just that father figure that was out in the community that we looked up to. Nowadays, you know, kids really don't have that now. So like I said, they gravitate to things they see on TV that they want to act like. Rap artists that they want to act like and look up to. And like I said earlier, think that they're really living the life that they're rapping about, but really it's just a gimmick, just to sell records.
Exactly, and we have between 3 and 5 major record labels, and most of the popular record labels usually fall underneath one of those top 5. They call them the big 5 in the record industry. And you know, we don't see that. We don't see that the album profits are being cut 2, 3, 4, and 5 times. That's why there's not a lot of the profit isn't the way we think that it is.
Exactly.
You go platinum, you make your money traveling, and you
Exactly.
make your money going on tour.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where most artists make their money.